our guest, who's going to be joining us right now. In fact, I've kept her waiting way too long. Our fabulous guest this morning is Elaine Hall. Some people know her as Coach E. She is a brilliant, brilliant woman and a brilliant mom. She is the person who started the Miracle Project and is famous for the Miracle Project and famous for the lovely Autism the Musical, which is about to have a sequel start on YouTube later on this month. And there she is. Elaine, how are you?
I am so good. I'm so good. It's wonderful to see you. I want to give like a virtual hug to you.
I know. Let's virtual hug. Isn't it like it's crazy when you don't see somebody for a while and then you see another human being, you're like, I know you. You're beautiful. It really makes you appreciate faces and the human spirit, I gotta say. We've created a state of deprivation from seeing each other, and so it's a wonderful thing. How are you doing in this COVID emergency?
Well, thank goodness we're hunkering down and hanging in and finding joy and seeking peace, and really thank goodness we're really doing well.
Glad to hear that.
There's ups and downs, just like all of us. And I think because we have this phenomenal community and a mission to be of service, that it keeps us going. So
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. But as you said, it's not easy every day. And one of the things that you and I had talked about yesterday, that you said, "Oh, Shannon, this is what I want to talk about." This is a little bit rough for a lot of people. And I'm hearing a lot of people at this point in the game who there's some guilt about feeling like they need to be doing a lot more, that the expectation is that they should be solving all the world's problems, educating their children, being their speech and language pathologist, being their OT, being their ABA provider. And by the way, can you get your taxes done and find a way to get groceries in here and cook and clean? I mean, I'm getting nervous talking about all the things we're supposed to do. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's in a good day, we parents of kids that experience the world differently feel overwhelmed. We're always feeling, I know for me, and I wrote about this in my book, Now I See the Moon. I was always feeling that at the end of the day, I hadn't done enough. That was what I didn't do enough. I didn't do enough. I didn't do enough. So that was kind of like, I think with autism, or the neurodiversity, we're the only parents that were taught that we have to cure our child, that it's up to us. And I don't think there's any other thing that causes that kind of over sense of responsibility. And even then, when Neil was younger and we weren't involved in this, what I had to learn was that the most important thing that I needed to do was simply to love him.
Yeah.
And
job one.
But actually before job one was job, whatever, the initial one is to love and care for myself.
Amen, sister.
Yeah. Because if I'm not 100%, then how can I be even 50% for my son? And right now, with the virus and the challenges that we have, I mean, I'm getting so many emails and so many webinars and so many to-dos. And then at the same time, I got to get my abs in gear, because I got next 30 days to get in shape. And meanwhile, I'm snacking. I mean, I'm eating matzah like crazy. So right now is a time of ultimate self-love, self-care, and just love for our kids, because and our families, because all of those to-dos, they're going to be there.
Yeah.
I've been consulting with a number of parents, and one of the things that one mom was so beautiful. We always start off with a meditation. And I was thinking, people have been asking me to come on their shows and do a meditation. So I'm happy to come on at any time.
Thank you. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's schedule it.
All right. We will schedule it. And we do that. We schedule.
Yes.
So,
yes.
But I always start with a meditation and then just check in with the parents and ask them what's going on. And one mom said, you know, at the end of the day, I've helped them online with their on school classes. I've done some physical kinds of OT work with them to get their bodies going. And at the end of the day, I just want to sit with them and watch TV. I just don't have the energy to play board games. I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, like, please.
Yeah.
It's like board games on top of everything else. So
Yeah.
I was sharing with her that some of the greatest memories I have of my beloved mother were at the end of the day, watching James Dean and Elizabeth Taylor, watching The Tonight Show, just being in her presence. And that the board games, just hanging out together, that we're enough and
Yeah.
that we're doing enough.
Yes, absolutely. And, I think I'm guilty as charged that I keep throwing things out there and saying, if you're looking for something to do, here's where to go. But but thank you for reminding all of us, like, no one should be doing all of it.
That's right.
Like, absolutely. One of the things we keep saying is one thing a day, do one thing a day to sort of break up the monotony of it. But I'm from a television family. My dad was a technical director for television, and television was the main thing in every room in our house growing up. And those are the memories that I have of being with my parents, is watching a show together, whether it was when we were young, and I'm going to date myself here, but watching the Monkees.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my gosh,
Hey,
as a
hey,
child.
yeah.
Oh, I loved the Monkees. And then later on, I have the memory of watching my parents watch Dallas. I wasn't really watching Dallas, but the whole Who Shot JR. These are the memories that I have, that I hold dear with my parents, that it was a way of connecting with them through whatever age. And we need to be modeling all kinds of things for our kids, like modeling when to rest, and
Yes.
when to do leisure activities, when to do self-care. I think so often, you brought up the self-care thing. I think so often those of us who are special needs moms feel like we're not doing enough, as you said. So we certainly can't take the time to take care of ourselves, but it's the biggest disservice to our children, because we want to be there and be healthy for them as long as possible. And more importantly, we need to model that self-care for our kids. Don't you think, Elaine?
Absolutely. Our children learn what we often don't say, but what we do. And
Yes.
I know for me, self-care has, especially in my early days with Neil when he was younger, and I went through my divorce and I had, all those big challenges, I realized that if I was happy and complete and full, then I could be that way for Neil. And it's teaching resilience, because he is really doing beautifully in all of this. He's really doing beautiful. I mean, the fact that we can't go to the store, our one of our things that we do together is we love going to the store together, and we and get chocolate, and we can't. We both love chocolate, so we can't do that right now. And rather than him get upset or have a fit, he just does the sign language for sick, and I'm going, that's right, sweetie. We could get sick, if we have to be careful. So by us taking care of ourselves, we're modeling how to be in a crisis for our children. We're modeling how to breathe and be there wholly for what we need, so that we're not pulling on our children to get anything from them. We
Yeah.
can be full and we can give love, rather than needing something from them or needing something from our spouses or
Yeah.
or our Zoom. So I
Yeah,
want to
there we
invite
go.
everybody. I know I want to come on and do a whole meditation, but just for right now, I'm going to take
Yes.
30 seconds. Is that good?
Okay, that's great.
So
Let's
do
do
you
it.
know how you give everybody one thing to do all every day? All right, I'm going to invite everybody for one thing that they get to do today. All right, so plant your feet on the ground and push into the ground, and feel the way your body is pushing into that ground. Take a deep, 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 deep breath. Maybe you haven't breathed like this in a month. Take a deep, deep breath and slowly let the air out. Beautiful. And then one more deep, deep, deep breath. Now fill up your chest with the air and slowly let the air out. And I'd like you to feel, as your feet are touching the ground, the way the ground is supporting your feet. Feel that support. So often we feel that we're aimlessly trying to give and do, and just feel the support underneath you. Breathe in again and breathe out. And now feel the way your tush feels on the chair, and feel the way the chair supports your body. So you are supported by the chair, you are supported by the ground. And take another huge deep breath in. If you care to close your eyes, take a really deep breath in and let the air out. Feel the way your spine is supporting your body, and your head gently rests on your spine. And visualize a golden light, a sunshine from as high as you can imagine, coming all the way down your body, filling you with health, strength, and energy. And set your intention to be loving to yourself today. Breathe in, breathe out, and when you're ready, slowly open your eyes.
That's great. That was great.
30 seconds and we can take care of ourselves. Yeah.
Yes. And to model that for our kiddos. We just had somebody a couple of weeks ago talking about the research showing that it's more effective when we're trying to get our kids to do these things, to do it in front of them than to ask them to do it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what gets them to do it, is when they see us modeling it and doing it, that they recognize the difference in us. And if there's a moment, that whether it's a moment of strife or not, where we as the parents say, you know what, I'm going to stop for a second and do my breathing, right? Then that helps them, and we're walking our talk then, instead of the thing that I think a lot of us do, which is, do your breathing. You're getting upset. Do your breathing. That's going to help.
So true.
Because how do we like that? When I'm getting upset, if my husband says, you need to take a breath, I'm like, don't tell me to take a breath. Right? So that's not going to help me right now. I don't need to take a breath. I'm breathing. Right? Yes, I'm a shrew.
Right now, who isn't,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The thing with our spouses right now is just giving some leniency. Every now and then one's going to have a bad moment, a bad day, and we just walk away, take a breath. So true.
We take turns having the meltdown. It's like, it's really good. If ever there comes a moment where we're both having a meltdown at the same point, I don't know what we'll do, but thus far we take turns. But all this is wonderful, but I also wanted you to talk a little bit, and there may be people who don't know your background, but I want to talk a little bit about the Miracle Project. And you're going to be back on the show in a couple of weeks, right before the big debut of Autism the Musical, the sequel. But let's talk a little bit about your background, how the Miracle Project came to be, how Autism the Musical came to be, to set us up, because people need to be watching Autism the Musical right now on HBO so that they're ready for when the sequel comes out later on this month. So tell us everything.
Oh, thanks, Shannon. I obviously love just seeing you and being with you. So I was working in TV and film as an acting coach. And what I wanted more than anything was a child of my own. I was working with children called the Child Whisperer, and I wasn't able to give birth biologically. So I chose to adopt a little boy from Russia. And actually, we just celebrated, someone called it a gotcha birthday, which is meeting my son for the first time in Russia. We just celebrated 23 years 24 years of meeting him for the first time. And when he came to me, first you'll see it in Autism the Musical. He ran into my arms, and we rolled on the floor, and we were bonded. But when I got him back to the United States, behavior started, and he spun around in circles and stared at his hand for hours at a time. And all I knew was I wanted to reach him. So when he spun, I made it ring around the rosies. And when he flapped his hands, we were birds flapping together. And we bonded through what I learned was that he had autism. And I used music and dance and drama to reach him. I started, is this glitching? Is there a glitch in the, can you guys hear me, see me?
We are totally seeing you, totally hearing you.
Okay,
I just dropped out so that we could see you fully.
Ah, you dropped out. I was like, where'd she go?
I'm here. We went to full camera on you. So, but I'm here cheering you on.
All right. So
Okay.
basically I learned about autism, and I started to train and study with some of the luminaries in the field. Dr. Stanley Greenspan, Dr. Barry Prezant, Dr. Ricky Robinson. I learned everything I could about autism and synthesized what I was learning into a creative way. So how to use music and dance and drama and incorporate everything that I was understanding about behavior and emotions and sensory system. And now we know neurodiversity. And I trained all of my creative friends, actors, singers, and dancers to join my son's world and provide him with what I now know is an intervention, 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. This intervention became a methodology that I now use in a program called the Miracle Project. And it's using theater, film, inclusivity, neurotypical, as well as those with all abilities and disabilities coming together using music and dance and drama and film to create community and to create original musicals. The program is now evidence-based, showing that the Miracle Project eases anxiety, develops self-esteem, creates compassion and understanding between those with and without disabilities. And since then, we serve over 170 individuals in Los Angeles, children to adults. Plus, we have programs in San Francisco and Rhode Island, New Jersey, New Hampshire. We're getting calls all the time to have more programs and to train others how to use these methods. So that's the Miracle Project. And in 2008, a film called Autism the Musical, which had followed the Miracle Project for a season, aired on HBO. And Shannon, I think I caught us up to speed. Since then, I've written a book called Now I See the Moon that was selected by the United Nations. And it's my journey as a mom. And as well as I have trained people all over the world, Argentina and Israel. We've been all over the world training people in these methods, and then also I've developed systems for parents and self-care. And so Autism the Musical came out in 2008, and then drum roll please, the sequel is coming out April 28th. So that's what's going on.
On HBO.
On HBO.
Yeah,
on HBO.
So
I actually
like that small little network that nobody's ever heard of before, that like you'll have to look around to find it. HBO. I mean, come on, it's pretty beautiful. And high time that they did that. Yes. You know, because it's almost a lifetime in Autism Different. And so people can be watching Autism the Musical right now on HBO this entire month. Now, is it free on demand? Where is it? Where do we find it?
You know, it's on Autism the Musical is on demand, And I think Autism the sequel will be free. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
You know, it's I was able to get a trailer. Do you guys want to see a trailer? I emailed it to you. I know late. They responded late.
Oh,
But
we did not get that and get that ready. I apologize, but
no,
we're having
no,
you
I
back.
apologize. I'm going to come
We're
back and you guys will see the trailer for Autism.
okay.
But you can go on HBO right now and look for Autism this, or go online and look for Autism. Or you know what? You can go to our website, go to themiracleproject.org, and the trailer is on there.
There
and
you
then,
go.
And then when I come back, we'll talk more specifically about those two things, which is really incredibly exciting.
It is incredibly exciting. And, you know, I don't know, at the beginning of the show, we always do a jargon of the day, Elaine, and today's jargon of the day, because we knew you were going to be on, was sociodramatic play. And the idea that when you get to like takes another character on, that it's a type of play and it's a very beneficial type of play for individuals that are on the spectrum. And just playing that way is great, but then taking that more into the performing arts, which is what you do, it's, as you said, it's evidence-based that you have been able to be a part of a study that shows that this actually helps our kids. Talk about that a little bit more.
Yes, social dramatic play, absolutely. We call it rehearsing for life. And what we do at the Miracle Project is we meet every child, teen, young adult, older adult, exactly where they are right now. So for those who are non-speaking, we meet them there. For those who are feeling shy and withdrawn, we meet them there. Wherever they are, we don't try to change them, fix them. We completely love and accept them for exactly who they are right now. And we have our very highly skilled teachers and coaches, and as well as co-actors, which are non-disabled peers, or I don't want to say non-disabled, neurodiverse, neurotypicals together. And we join everyone where they are using music and movement and creative dramatic activities so that then their essential self comes through. Who they are starts to come forward. And often parents say to us that we have one young man who's, and we'll get him on the show, you'd love him. His mom says, I never even knew who my son was. He was so quiet and withdrawn, but he's actually hilarious, incredible sense of humor. And the first year at Miracle Project, he may have said one or two words. And today he's a public speaker and an actor. And it's just helping them to really bring out who they are. And then, yes, playing other characters to embolden them to be a superhero, to be other characters so they can then grow that from the inside. And then, yes, the part that we add at the Miracle Project, in addition to the traditional sociodramatic play, is we add the witnessing of an audience. And we start that from our first class, where we invite parents to come in for 5 minutes to experience their child in a different way.
Yeah. I gotta say, what you do, it's aptly named. It is the Miracle Project. And all you have to do is go to one performance and you get it. You totally get it. The first time that I ever saw you guys live, it was a million years ago. But I was coming because a good friend's son was in the performance, and I had always wanted to see a Miracle Project live. You know that theater is my background, so I was like, I want to see what this is. And I couldn't move for like the longest time afterwards. I was there with my husband and my son, and we just all were stunned. It's just so moving. It's so beautiful. First of all, to see people on stage, being allowed to be who and how they are. There was a moment in that show where you had one of your actors is somebody that was in a wheelchair and used an assistive device to speak. and they participated fully. And then there was a moment in the show where everything stopped, and they spoke through their device something that they had written. And we just about needed to be picked up off the floor, because it was one of the most beautiful things that I had ever seen, heard, anywhere. And I've seen some performances, I've seen Baryshnikov jump. Okay. And this, I gotta say, resonated more with me, as a person on this planet. And to give that, and that's just one example. Elaine, every time I've come to one of your shows, there is a life-changing moment in it where you get to witness people affirming themselves, taking their place in the spotlight, being who they are, and portraying their truth. And you see the joy that is in them. I believe in the power of theater to heal. You see the joy that is in them, and the thing about it is that it's healing to the audience. We get to see these people and truly get to accept them in all of their shining glory and all of their dignity. And it's very uplifting, very uplifting. I weep, because it's the Miracle Project. So, I know that there are probably people who are watching who are like, well, that's great. I heard you say it's in Los Angeles and San Francisco, and it's in New Jersey, and it's in Rhode Island, but it's not here in Kansas. So I want you to take just a minute and tell them about how they could get the Miracle Project in Kansas, because the truth is they can.
Well, thank you, Shannon. What you're saying about the impact on the audience, it's, the impact that we get to experience every week being with our students and our world, we're in the autistic world, and it's the neurodiverse world, and it's the most beautiful, the most honest, the most sincere, the most extraordinary human beings I've ever known. And how can you get this in Kansas? Well, I do trainings, I do consulting, and help people create it in their own community, which when all this is lifted, I only take 2 cities a year, and everything's on hold right now, but I will be, opening up again probably in hopefully in July, where I'll, be able to train. And I do consults. I work with parents over Zoom, just like this. I work with parents and families. But the positives, the silver lining, the wonderful things about being homebound, we are now doing our classes through Zoom. So,
wow.
In Kansas, we are going to be bringing right to you through this medium. We will be bringing classes to you, and classes in dance. We're going to have dance parties, so everyone can dance with us. We're going to have voice lessons and musical theater sing-alongs. What happened is, by necessity, we kept our classes going, even though we weren't physically meeting. We took 1 week off, learned everything we could, and then started having Zoom classes and seeing the positive impact that we were making on our own students. That they said, once a week they're feeling, they were so depressed, and now they're feeling joy again, and that joy can be transmitted, and it's just so wonderful for our own students that we're now going to open it up nationally.
Okay, so we got a couple of questions and comments that have come in. Kate says, will a recording of this talk be available? Huge fan of Elaine's work and would love to watch from the beginning. And yes, this is being recorded. We podcast to a bunch of different places. It'll be available immediately after the show. You can watch it on Facebook and YouTube. You can download it on iTunes by this time tomorrow. You can listen to it on iHeartRadio, on Deezer, where would you like to watch it? I'm sure that it's there. And if it's not, tell me, we'll get it there. But we do record and podcast our full show. And then Aaron says that our kids need a lot of visual play support, and seeing people interact in different ways. And that's exactly what they see when we are, as you say, rehearsing for life. Tricia says, you ladies are awesome. Thank you. We have something here called Angels on Stage in the Bay Area, which sounds really wonderful. Yes. But Tanya wants to know, my son does this for the last 2 years. I would like to figure out if there are workshops to teach parents looking for workshops on writing scripts and monologues. And I got to say, Elaine, if ever there was a time that parents could use a workshop where someone like you shows them how to work in this way, with how to play with their kids in this way, how to get their kids to play in this way. I apparently I have it wrong. It was Tanya who said about the angels on stage. Excuse me. But in any case, if you were giving a webinar about that, I think you'd have some attendance. Parents being coached on how they can do this with their kids.
Oh, that's
just a
great
suggestion.
idea. So
yeah.
Come to our site and give us these suggestions. I'm actually meeting with our program director today. So, and for those of you that sign in tomorrow, come to our site and it's themiracleproject.org, and with all your ideas, and we want to serve. We're going to be putting a meditation once a week, parent support, but it's not a traditional support group. It's about mindfulness and meditation and self-care. My husband, who's an incredible cook, if you ever go to my Facebook, you'll see, he's been coaching parents and single dads on how to cook, how to buy for a week and cook for a week, and simple recipes. So we're going to put that together online. We really want to be of service to the community right now, and so just come to our website, ask the question. I think it's info@themiracleproject.org, but you'll see. But just themiracleproject.org, and
okay.
Just the other thing I want to add, I want to invite everybody, and probably might want to be able to get him on. We're doing a book launch, a free book launch from a young, brilliant autistic writer named Joshua Corwin. And you will hear his name. He is a voice in autism. He is a poet, and his poetry is beautiful. So
love to have him on.
Yeah, but his book signing is this coming Monday, April 20th. So again, come to our website. We'll have information on that as well.
Is it now a virtual book signing?
It's a virtual book signing. I'm sorry, I just assumed that now. It's a virtual book signing that is open to the world. The good thing is people will be able to come in from Kansas and New Jersey,
there we go.
New York, that never would have had that opportunity. And
we got to take our blessings where they can come in this horrible mess that we're in. So there you go. There now, one of the blessings is you can take a class online from the Miracle Project no matter where you are, but you got to go to themiracleproject.org. We're about to be out of time, so I want to just thank Elaine again for all the work that she's doing. I want to remind all of you to go watch Autism the Musical so that you're ready. It's the 28th, is it not, that it comes out on HBO?
Autism the Musical comes out on April 28th, and right now, Autism the Musical is on HBO. So
there we go. So you want to be ready.
Good thing with your family. There's maybe 2 or 3 bad words, so la 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 during that, but other than that, it's a good feel good.
I think most of our kids have heard at least 1 or 2 bad words. It's worth watching. So and go to themiracleproject.org to follow Elaine and all the things that she's doing and get some resources from her. I got to say really quickly that we're back tomorrow with Dr. Doreen Grampiche. And she's going to be answering your questions, so don't forget to be here for that. On Thursday, Dr. Carrie Magro is here with us. Wonderful, outspoken autism advocate, international speaker. Love having him on the show. And on Friday for Let's Talk Autism with Shannon and Nancy, we have documentary filmmaker Vena Tiero with her new film, Believing in Miracles in Spite of Autism. She's her first film was My Tiero Boy. She's the mom of two young men on the spectrum, so you're not going to want to miss that. All that and more, but we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you so much, Coachy. But we'll be back tomorrow. Give your kiddos a hug for me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now, you guys.
A virtual hug.
Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.